अच्छा जी, तो एज आई वाज टेलिंग यू कि जो सेकेंड एरा है, when we say that company is a separate legal personality and it's a separate asset. So company as a separate entity or as a separate asset and as a separate asset, basically it was recognized in this second era of company law development, which we say that had started from 1910 to 1980s. And after 1980s, you have the third era that is called the company as a nexus of contract. So here the understanding of the company, the it again it changes and it takes a new turn, uh, whether completely or partially. It was influenced from the economic analysis of law, from the economic perspective of the corporation or the firm. And there in that era, it is now considered as a nexus of contract. However, we can say, and this could be a question of further investigation, that this nexus of contract era that has also somehow that has come to an end. Uh, well, we will discuss this topic at the end when once we will be concluding that whole topic. Okay, what could be the fourth era? But at least these are the these are the three eras in which the company law had been has been divided. And why did we divide it? You need to understand this question. Why did we divide it, or why did scholars divide this modern company law development into three eras? It was because of the different shape or the different understanding the company assumed or the company was considered to be by the scholars. That is why they roughly said that it could be in this time it could be said to be company as a nexus of contract, while in the previous area as an asset, or in the first area as a functional tool. ठीक है? So now I will be little quick. I don't want to spend more times into that legal development, because number one, that won't be very interesting for you, because that relates with the history and the development of the company. And number two, we are little short of time. I don't want to give it a little more. I would prefer to spend this time discussing some other topics. But I did add it into our course so that we are aware that at least you would be able to appreciate two to three things regarding the companies. Number one, you would be apprised about the development of companies or the company law in the modern times. So at least you will be aware okay, how did it develop, how did different acts came into vogue, or they were legislated both in England and Pakistan. हम उससे borrow कर रहे थे completely everything. And number three was there any particular uh, motivation to make those particular laws? What was the purpose, or what was that was triggering uh, the development of company law in the last 200 years? So you would be able to appreciate at least these two to three things. So that will help you to know about the background of the company law. And number two, to see the company law from a little different perspective. Okay, ठीक है, fine. Right now we have Companies Act 2017, but is company law really affected by the external certain external factors or not? And if yes, what could be those possible factors that gonna affect the company law development? ठीक है. Now let's moving to the फर्स्ट फेज हम 3 phases को डिफरेंटली डिस्कस कर लेंगे. The first phase, it's about, as I told you, in this era or in this phase, company was conceptualized. It was thought to be, or it sorry, it was understood to be a functional tool. And in this era, there were special company law statutes were introduced in various jurisdictions, eschewing the need of special charter either from king or the parliament. In fact, in this era that had started from the 1850s, यहाँ से all the jurisdiction globally, in fact, they had started to come up with a separate legislation dealing with the companies. It means before this era, there was no separate company law in vogue. And how did company operate? It was basically the charter given by either king or the parliament to start a company. So if you remember the Bank of England, or if you, I mean, East India Company, which was chartered by the king back in 1600. So basically, the king had given authority to certain people, certain traders, that they can do businesses with the eastern part of the India, and that those certain traders, they were considered to be company somehow. The company was called East India Company, and this practice was remained continued. Initially, these companies was created for certain particular purposes, especially for trade purposes, and they had already they were to take their charters or authority directly from the king. And in countries where there was no king, and where the parliament, or when the parliament came into operation, or they started making legislation, or they became supreme, as is the case in UK or even in US, and then these powers went into the hands of the parliament to give charters. Even today, I mean, you know that companies can also be created, and many companies are created by the act of the parliament. So in the past, it was, in fact, it was the parliament or the king that used to create the company. And gradually, especially in this first era, जहाँ पे हम कहते हैं कि the modern company law ने एक नया turn लिया, it was in this era that all the legislation, they come up with a separate specialized laws dealing with the company. So there was no, from now onward, from then onward, in fact, there was no need to go to the parliament or to the king to get the company registered. Instead, they had to follow the provisions of the company law, उसको हम देखेंगे अभी, and to register the company. So, did you get that? Any question regarding this point? 017?
सर 017 में वो जमशेद भाई थे, वो आपसे इजाजत लेकर वो
Hello,
अच्छा,
sorry.
yes, Naeem Tariq,
Sir.
do you have any question?
Yes, sir. With respect to these companies created by a charter of the king or charter from the parliament, my question would be whether these companies were also having a limited liability the way we know companies today. And the second question with respect to the companies created by act of parliament, for example, in Pakistan, I am not very much sure, but I think state-owned companies are mostly formulated by the acts of parliament. Is it true, sir? And does these companies have some special status with respect to the companies created under companies ordinance or company law?
There could be two companies in which the state is involved. Number one, a private company registered by the state. So, or it could be a public. It could be any limited liability company under the provision of the company law. It is possible. State can register its own company for the purpose of, for certain purpose. It could be business or it could be non-business even. But when the company in which the state is a shareholder or a dominant shareholder, and it is registered under the company's provision, then obviously the provision of the company law would be applicable on that company. That is scenario number one. Scenario number two is that where Parliament itself create a new company. I think OGDCL, it's a company created by the Parliament. All the energy distribution companies, they are also, I think, created by the Parliament, although I am not sure. ठीक है? You may confirm it. ये जो आपके नेप्रा है और पेप्रा है, ये जो डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन कंपनीज हैं इलेक्ट्रिसिटी की, you need to just confirm that. I'm not sure, but OGDCL and some of the other companies जो हैं वो एक्ट ऑफ द पार्लियामेंट के जरिए क्रिएट की जाती हैं. अब वो जो when they are created by the act of the parliament, तो उनमें लिमिटेड लाइबिलिटी का कॉन्सेप्ट प्रोवाइड किया जाता है, although little differently, बट वो उसमें प्रेजेंट होता है.
सर इसमें नईम तारिक भाई के जो लेटर पार्ट ऑफ द क्वेश्चन था उसका जवाब यही है कि जो ईस्ट इंडिया कंपनी थी, इट वाज बेसिकली अ लिमिटेड लायबिलिटी कंपनी, एंड ये वन ऑफ द वेरी फर्स्ट एग्जांपल्स हैं जो हमें ईस्ट इंडिया कंपनी की सूरत में मिलती हैं जो कि लिमिटेड लायबिलिटी कंपनीज थी. इससे पहले जो इसकी सिस्टर कंपनी थी या जो इसका जो प्रेडिसेसर था लेवेंट कंपनी, दैट वाज आल्सो अ लिमिटेड लायबिलिटी कंपनी व्हिच वाज सक्सीडेड बाय ईस्ट इंडिया कंपनी व्हिच वाज आल्सो अ लिमिटेड लायबिलिटी कंपनी.
Hello.
Tariq, is it clear?
Yes sir, it's clear. अभी मेरे भाई ने बताया कि the East India Company was a limited liability company. Then the next question that would definitely come into mind that whether these companies were limited by share or these companies were limited by guarantee. What kind of limitation was with respect to the stake shareholders? And secondly, since these companies were created under special charters, so was there any defined areas of activities for these companies? Because as you have told in your intro part that these companies were created with special reference, with special purpose of having trading relations with the Eastern countries. But as we have seen that East India Company was more a political type of company or military kind of company rather than only a trading company. So was there not any check on the activities of the companies in this first phase of development of company law?
Yeah, basically it had started as a trading company back in 1600. So it started its trade with the India, and you know it grew. It did a lot of trading between England and India, and ultimately it started expanding its activities. But basically the chartered had provided for doing the trade, and trade also between India, eastern part of India, and England. For example, they also made some other trading companies which were to do trading with the other era of that time, with other areas. So this East India Company was specifically to trade with the India. Number one, initially they had this trading, but gradually they got more powers, having got sanctions, having got sanctions from the king. ठीक है? So उनके जो powers हैं, उनकी जो activity है, वो वैसे ही expand होती गई, and ultimately that was being approved by the king. So much so that when they started doing, they had started indirect control over the India. तो ultimately 1987 में वो फिर किंग डायरेक्ट आ गया था और कंपनी का जो रूल एज वी हियर दैट एंडेड और उसको रिप्लेस कर लिया था वाइस राय ने. तो वो जो कंपनी थी दैट वाज टेकन ओवर बाय द किंग और इट्स वाइस राय of that time. Yes, at that time the company was limited by share. We don't see the concept of limited by guarantee, at least in that time. वो उस वक्त limited by share का ही concept था. Limited by guarantee जो है that concept came in 20th century, and I will show you the legislation. It was 1962, I guess, through which this company was introduced.
Sir, thank you very much, sir. Got it.
Also, ji. Can you see the slides? जी जा रहे हैं?
Yes, sir.
अच्छा, आप ये 5-10 मिनट वेट करें ना, मैं कंक्लूड करता हूँ. अच्छा जी, यहाँ पे वो पीएन आ गया है कि सर वी हैव टू वाइंड अप थिंग्स. अच्छा, except the shareholders as dominant actors in company's affairs, and company would perform the function of earning profit for the shareholder. As I was telling you, the company in this era, it was said to have, or it was conceptualized as a functional tool. It was nothing more than performing a certain function, and that function was to earn profit for the shareholders. Okay? So you have to remember this point in mind. It was a functional tool. Company was thought or understood to be a functional tool. और क्या function perform करना है? The function was to earn profit for the shareholders. And rest of the slides that I'm gonna show you, they will be reflecting that shareholders were very important. They had a complete control over the affairs of the company, and thus the company was not but something that was for the well-being, for the good, and for the profit of the shareholders. So that is why in this era we have different legislation, or in legislation if you really see them, you will be able to appreciate that they tilt towards shareholders. और उसी की basis पे we could conclude that this era was basically a pro-shareholder era in which company was supposed to earn profit for the shareholders. So this was the first company enactment, in fact, that was introduced in England, the Companies Registration of Companies Act 1844. Okay, और इसका जो title है, that was 7 and 8 Victoria.C.110. I mean, this was the the kind of क्या कहते हैं numbering we can say that was given to the legislations. 7th and 8th Victoria means when the Victoria was Queen of England, उसके 7th और 8th year में this legislation came. And उसके chapter 1110 था जिसमें ये act आया. So ये this could be something new for you कि old time में इनके यहाँ जो reference दिया जाता था, if you may come across with such references, you should get the idea. You should know that 7th and 8th Victoria means the 7th and the 8th year of Queen Victoria's regime as a Queen of England. In the chapter 110, you're going to find the Registration of Companies Act 1844. So, as I told you, this was the first legislation, a separate legislation that was that only dealt with the companies and the regulation of the company. Usse pehle, that was all about the king or the parliament to allow any company to work as an entity. This act has provided that it would be applicable on all the existing partners which were having transferable shares and which were having more than 25 members. So आज का जो company ला है, that talks about 2 people, they can start the company or even one, but initially the partnerships are the people having transferable shares, and the number of the shareholders, if it is more than 25, they were entitled to get themselves registered as a separate entity. But it was not applicable. It was clearly mentioned in that act that it would not be applicable on construction companies, certain construction companies, ports, etc., for which the parliament consent was required. उसके लिए parliament को involve करना जरूरत था. You could not work start a company dealing with the port businesses unless you have a clear permission from the parliament. And similarly, any other company which was authorized by the parliament. कि parliament ने अपना पास वो जो powers to make companies था वो retain रखा, but वो इतना frequently use नहीं किया जाता था. अब they had intended to give this power to the officers or to some public officer to do this all registration purposes. So company registration, by doing away with the Crown's Charter of Prerogative, ये हो गया. अच्छा बस ये slide हम पढ़ लेते हैं, then we will be ending. Formalities to comply before registration. In fact, there was a concept of 2 registration, loosely हम कह सकते हैं, provisional registration and the complete registration. Provisional registration was by providing certain formal information आपने company को registrar को दे देना था for 12 months, and once the 12 months expire, then you could set to have a complete registration. The company would be said to be completely registered after submission of deed of settlement, जिसको आप आज के दौर का article of association or memorandum of association कह सकते हैं. In those times, it was said to be deed of settlement. That any document जिसपे वो shareholders जो है वो settle हुए थे, agree हुए थे, signed by shareholders, giving all details as required by the schedules. इस act के end पे भी schedule दिया गया था, तो उस schedule की requirement को fill करके आपने submit करने था deed of settlement. Deed to be signed by 3 directors and 1 auditor. And the most interesting part of this act was the creation of the office of registrar. In fact, this was that public officer, जो कि अभी भी हमारे यहाँ है, registrar of the companies, which was created under section 19, and which was a public officer who has to submit all his reports, all his performance before the parliament at the end of the year. But all these registration and all these processes, they were to be taken care by this registrar. So that was very important development. Biannual returns of certain documents of a company, कंपनी ने जो कि शेड्यूल में कुछ डॉक्यूमेंट्स प्रोवाइड किए गए थे कि आपने ये बाईएनुअल प्रोवाइड करने हैं ऑफिस ऑफ रजिस्ट्रार को. It granted legal personality through the process of registration, but there was no limited liability. At least by this enactment, they had not introduced this concept of limited liability. Only the separate legal personality was somehow recognized, I am saying, because company was to be registered under this act as a separate entity. तो यहाँ तक तो हो गया था, but still it was not completely thought to be a separate legal personality. So that was the first act, a very important act. You must remember that this act, I will share my article with you. You must go through that article and you will see some more details about this enactment. And this the first legislation जो कि इंग्लैंड में इंट्रोड्यूस की गई थी. Okay, but I think we're gonna stop today क्योंकि